And we can only do that if we are united. There is no other language apart from unity.
Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi said the space is more than an office, adding that the Secretariat stands as a symbol of the ADC's determination to rebuild trust, promote transparency, and strengthen the core values of peace and accountability in Nigeria. He said the ADC is prepared to provide purposeful leadership.
The African Democratic Congress is the tenant of this building.
The national chairman, David Mark, further emphasized that AADC is repositioning itself to offer Nigerians a credible political alternative rooted in integrity, citizen participation, and issue-driven politics.
This ADC is a historic child of necessity inspired by people's desire for good governance and service to the people.
The African Democratic Congress also used the commissioning to call on the Independent National Electoral Commission to intensify electoral reforms that promote transparency, inclusiveness, and voter confidence ahead of future polls. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News, Abuja.
The two factions claiming the leadership of the People's Democratic Party primed for battle for the control of Wadata Plaza, Abuja National Secretariat of the party. Today, while the newly elected national chairman, Teni Muturaki, has fixed the inaugural meeting of the new National Working Committee at the Secretariat. The faction loyal to the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja Minister Nyesom Wike, has also scheduled an emergency board of trustees and National Executive Committee meeting at the same venue. This was as former Nanda State Governor Mahazu Babangida Aliyu linked the explosion of some prominent members of the People's Democratic Party to a surgical procedure carried out to remove a cancerous tumor to give the patients a new lease of life. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria has Hajj contract agreement between licensed tour operators and Ralph Mina Company, marking a significant milestone in preparations for the Hajj 2026 season. The agreement was signed by the chairman of NACAN, Professor Abdullahi Saleh Usman, and the chief executive officer of Rawaf Mina Company, Zuhair Abdulhamid Sadayo, in a ceremony that highlighted the Commission's commitment to delivering outstanding services to Nigerian pilgrims. The chairman emphasized that the partnership represents a shared responsibility to ensure that Nigerian pilgrims receive the quality of service they deserve for their investment in this sacred journey. Addressing the event, Professor Usman reminded the service providers of the expectations placed on them by Nigerian pilgrims. He noted that pilgrims demand value for money and the Commission accepts to meet those standards. The federal government has signed a memorandum of development programs to mobilize resources for strengthening democracy across West Africa. Minister of Foreign Affairs Ambassador said the MOU aims to address emerging challenges to democracy while building resilient systems that serve the citizen more effectively. Usoro was there for Global Television.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, says the Regional Partnership for Democracy is a forward-thinking, African-led initiative designed to fortify democratic practices such as free speech, representation, inclusive governance, civic engagement, and regional dialogue. He underscored Nigeria's commitment to the initiative, emphasizing the importance of deeper regional cooperation and the potential of the partnership to strengthen electoral systems, boost civic participation, and support peace-building efforts across West Africa.
Democracy flourishes most sustainably when it is rooted in African values and attuned to local peculiarities or idiosyncrasies.
Country representative of the United Nations Development Programme, LC, at Tafwa, reaffirms UNDP's commitment to inclusive governance, citizen-centered democracy, and supporting African-led solutions that strengthen political stability.
Today's milestone signals that Nigeria is not only shaping the regional democratic landscape, but also charting a path for Africa-led, Africa-owned transformation.
Also speaking, Chairman of the ECOWAS Commission, Dr. Omar Tura, called for democracy to be practiced the right way in the sub-region, stressing accountability, respect for the rule of law, and adherence to constitutional order.
It is being launched at a time when the social contract between the state and the citizenry is unraveling at the seams because of democracy as practiced in Africa and in our sub-region is notoriously thin on delivering on dividends.
The meeting observed that the ECOWAS region is still grappling with issues ranging from voter apathy to declining trust in democratic institutions. It emphasized that partnership offers a pathway to reinforce governance structures, promote closer cooperation among member states, and support the consistent protection of democratic values across West Africa. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission Resident Electoral Commissioner in Osun, Dr. Mutiu Abuki, has urged political parties in the state to conduct their primaries in accordance with the law. A statement by INEC Public Relations Officer Olurode Musa in Oshobo said the conduct of party primaries in line with the law is important ahead of the 2026 governorship election in the state. The REC appealed to all registered political parties in the state to strictly adhere to the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022 and the Commission's guideline and regulation for the conduct of their primaries. Federal civil servants have called on the federal government to urgently clear the outstanding 3 months of the 35,000 Naira wage award, citing the rising cost of living and the critical role the arrears played in averting financial pressures. The wage award, negotiated with labor unions in 2023, was intended as a temporary cushion to ease workers' burden during the government's ongoing economic reforms. At the time, labor unions had threatened nationwide strike if their demands for improved compensation and cost of living adjustments were not met. The National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) has released the deployment details for its 2025 Part C prospective corps members. The scheme announced these via its official X handle, confirming that the call-up letters are now available, adding that some prospective corps members posted to Lagos and Federal Capital Territory have been assigned to undergo their orientation in neighboring states. NYSC noted that some prospective corps members deployed to Lagos have their orientation course in Ekiti, Kwara, Ondo, Ogun, and Osun camps, while some deployed to FCT will be in Kaduna, Niger, and Nasarawa camps. Across Nigeria, a growing wave of artificial intelligence-generated videos is fueling a new kind of online fraud, from fake celebrity endorsement to fabricated investment adverts. Scammers are now using AI-generated videos to deceive unsuspecting Nigerians. Global Television's Priscilla Obasi examines the trend.
From Nollywood actors to musicians and even religious figures, videos featuring well-known faces are circulating online, but many of them were never recorded by the real people. These videos, created using AI tools and deepfake technology, mimic voices, facial expressions, and speaking patterns to make the content appear authentic. The goal is to trick Nigerians into clicking, investing, or paying into fraudulent schemes. Many celebrities have taken to their Instagram and X to warn their followers, repeatedly debunking fake endorsements and investment adverts created in their names. Cybersecurity experts say the trend is rising, fueled by cheap AI apps that allow scammers to generate convincing clips within minutes. The videos often promote quick investment, fake cryptocurrency schemes, loan apps, or miracle health cures. all designed to exploit trust in familiar public figures. Regulators are also raising concern. According to digital analysts, AI-generated scams are harder to track because the content often disappears quickly, resurfacing under different accounts and pages across social media. Beyond financial losses, experts warn that deepfake technology poses a growing risk to reputation, politics, and national security. As Nigeria continues to embrace digital innovation, stakeholders say public awareness, verification culture, and a stronger cyber laws remains the best against AI-driven deception. Priscilla Obasi, Global Television News. From Nollywood actors.
You're watching the live broadcast of Midday News. When Midday News returns, United Nations Security Council adopts Trump's plan for Gaza. Details coming shortly, plus business and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from that short break. And in business, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has highlighted areas investors could explore in aviation to deploy their resources for good returns, urging players in their travel ecosystem to imbibe collaboration, especially with operators in the private sector, to make Nigeria the preferred destination for aviation investment. Tinubu said the federal government has already on track the simplification of regulatory procedures, promotion of transparency, and offering incentives in areas such as airport infrastructure, aircraft leasing, maintenance, and training. Tinubu disclosed these while declaring open the 2025 FAN National Aviation Conference in Lagos. The Nigerian Customs Service said Nigeria's trade with other African countries hit 4.82 trillion naira in the first 6 months of 2025 from the 600 billion naira recorded the previous year. Comptroller General Bashir Adewale Adeniyi broke the news at the Customs Partnership for African Cooperation in Trade in Abuja. Adewale described the transaction as a clear signal of strengthening regional trade. The Comptroller General was impressed by the 464 confirmed participants representing 28 countries, including 26 African nations. The Petroleum Technology Association of Nigeria, alongside major international oil companies, including Shell, Total Energies, and Mobil United On the foreign scene, the United Nations Security Council adopted a resolution that endorsed a peace plan for Gaza put forward by United States President Donald Trump and temporary international force in the enclave following 2 years of war. Resolution 2803-2025 received 13 votes in favor and none against, with permanent members China and Russia abstaining. The text of the resolution welcomes the comprehensive plan announced by Trump on September 29. President Donald Trump again says the United States may open talks with Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, who faces escalating pressure from Washington aimed at a massive U.S. military build-up in the Caribbean. Zara Unasir has the details.
It was one of the first signs of a possible path toward diffusing an increasingly tense situation in the region as the U.S. wages a campaign of deadly strikes against suspected drug trafficking boats off the Venezuelan coast and in the Eastern Pacific Ocean. Trump's statement has now provided a ray of hope.
And we may be having some discussions with Maduro, and we'll see how that turns out. They would like to talk. Well, in Venezuela's case, it's about drugs, and it's also about thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that they've released into our country. And some are gang members from Tren de Aragua, some are many are drug dealers, some are murderers. So in the case of Venezuela, it's the prison population. Their almost entire prison population was released into the United States. You know what that means? So they're using Jeffrey Epstein as a deflection from the tremendous success that we're having as a party. Marjorie Trader Green. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her. Okay, what about you?
Trump offered no further details about the possibility of talks with Maduro, whom the U.S. has accused of ties to the illegal drug trade, which Maduro denies. Zahra Nasser reporting for Global TV News.
In sports, the Nigerian Olympic Committee Sports Administration calls for stakeholders across the country begins in one of Nigeria's leading institutions, Sunshine School, Ibadan. The Sport Administration course is an introductory level training program tailored for elected officials and paid staff of National Olympic Committees, national federations, club managers, physical education teachers, sports journalists, and other professionals engaged in sports development. Organized by Olympic Solidarity in collaboration with the Nigerian Olympic Committee and Sunshine School, Ibadan. The 3-day course is designated for key sports stakeholders, including directors of sports, sports officers, heads of sports, department sports marketers, and game masters. That's it on Global TV Midday News. Here, a quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, Channel 365 and StarTimes, Channels 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Sadia Yakubu saying thank you for watching.